holes and the lightning strikes. Doom, doom, doosh. There was my rendition of a very popular Garth Brooks song here on 5 Words, the podcast. If you are still listening, thank you very much for not throwing your listening device out into the street after hearing me try to sing, because I fucking suck at singing. But what I don't suck at is fucking jabber-jawing off at the mouth. How are you? I hope you've been well. Thank you for coming back to 5 Words and taking a listen. This here is episode 76 with truly one of my favorite fucking people. Now, you feel pressure as the host of a podcast to always have like a super famous comedian or musician or maybe even someone you don't know personally, but they're just a bigger name. And I disagree. I prefer to have super talented people you haven't heard of yet that are amazing. That's not every episode. I've definitely had a couple of episodes where maybe the person was your comedic idol growing up. And I'm talking about one of mine personally, David Cross. I think it was episode 28. But this comedian, this guest this week will definitely be someone's idol one day. She's fucking hilarious. We met in Wilmington, North Carolina. She was a Chicago-based comedian for a while from North Carolina, now lives in New York. The very goddamn hilarious Ali Clayton. I mean, she's just a fucking peach, a peach that will make you fucking laugh your ass off. She's super funny. And she's one of these comedians where everything comes from a real place. You know what I'm saying? There's no sugarcoating on anything. None of it's fake. It's all raw, real, hitch over the head truth, and not in a pandering, preachy way. In a fucking hilarious way from a Southern belle who's now living up in the cities. You got to check her out. You got to follow her on every social media platform. Ali Clayton with an I. You're gonna fucking love her. She's fantastic. And if you're looking for some live comedy, by the way, if you're listening to this, it is January 19th, 2021. You could see me at Soul Joel's Comedy Club in Royersford, fucking Pennsylvania, on the 29th of January. It's a Friday night, 7 p.m. show. James Mattern hosting, Cypher Sounds DJing and featuring. This club is apparently amazing, and the good people of Royersford, nailed it again. I've seen too many people be like, I don't know how to say that. Royersford. It's spelt like it fucking said. But it's going to be exciting, so come check it out. And in the meantime, listen to Ali. I love you all dearly. So much so that I won't torture you with any more Garth Brooks. Not that he sucks, but my version of him does. Anyway, get to it. Talk to you soon. Love ya. Oh, no. Is it? Yes, it's recording. We always are happy when recording happens. That's my, that's my song of praise for today. This here episode of 5 Words, the podcast. Thank you for tuning back in. I bring to you a very special guest. And I know that I say that about all my guests. And I'm just going to confess that most of the time I'm lying. I'm just saying special because everyone wants to feel special. And in the entertainment world, you're supposed to make everyone and everything seem like it's the most amazing person and most amazing situation you've ever been into. But this is a true friend, a true comedic star. Wow. In the sense, an original. I was going to say snowflake, and it sucks like snowflake's been some fucking politicized word now, because I mean that in the sense that you are original, unique, and will one day melt. But if a child ever catches you on their tongue, they'll remember you forever.
That's beautiful.
It's beauty.
Yes.
This is the one and only Dr. Ali Clayton. I give everyone a doctorate on my podcast.
Thank you, Sean.
Wait, Ali, real quick.
Yeah.
Off the top of your head, don't think too hard about it, because I already know. If you were a doctor, what kind of doctor would you be?
Pediatrician.
Yep. What kind of pediatrician?
I mean,
'Cause it seems
as a
like there's more.
lesbian, you would think I'd want to be a gynecologist, but not really.
No.
Uh,
Because it's like
Oh, I would love to be a dermatologist, a pimple. I just want to pelt pimples like all day long.
okay. Wow.
So it's like,
Okay.
if I'm not helping children, I want to pop pimples.
I think by offering to pop pimples, you are helping teenagers. You would be helping teenagers.
For sure.
You know, so it's like there's like that should be in the pediatrician category.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I was honestly gonna say like sports medicine. I don't know. I just feel
Really?
I feel like are you not a health nut? Am I wrong about this?
No.
Like no, I know you and I have drank until suns have come up in many different time zones, but that doesn't mean you're not healthy when you're not drinking. You don't jog.
No. I just recently started going to physical therapy because my back just hurts. They're like, "What'd you do?" And I'm like, I think I sat on my couch too long and I injured my back.
I think my back has sitting atrophy.
I think it just gave up, actually.
You see, that's crazy. In my like memory,
I went on a keto kick for a while.
Yeah, but how long? Like last time I saw you, were you keto kicking?
Yeah, I was probably keto kicking. I did it for like a good year and a half.
Oh, damn. Okay.
I lost a lot of weight.
But wait, keto is just eating raw vegetables and raw meat and no bread, right?
Yeah, no carbs, no sugar. And I was so sick when I started it. And then it's just like you just sit around and eat meatballs. Like I just sit around, get really high and eat just a shit ton of fucking meatballs and was losing weight.
I mean, that sounds actually fan-fucking-tastic.
Like, I mean, it was at first, but then it was like, I would really like to have a piece of cake.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. No, I get, as a Southerner yourself, as we are both Southerners, I think we're both like, I don't know if this is an actual theory or not, but I believe that it is that parents, like you set, or they have something to do with setting their kids like palate design. You know what I mean? Like I know that like I legitimately crave bread.
Yes, me too.
Crave it. Like not just like, oh, I'll have it. I'm like, oh, I want. And I think that's from growing up in the South eating like po' boys all the goddamn time. I know that sounds stereotypical, but it's a fact. New Orleanians love po' boys. And then just everything. And then just like growing up with working class parents where it's like you eat a lot of sandwiches. You eat a lot of fucking things on bread. So like now as a man in my 40s, I fucking love bread. My girlfriend doesn't eat bread at all. Oh. Because
like as like a health thing or like a weight or just like not that into bread.
She just doesn't like it because she grew up in Southern California and her mother, like Caitlin will crave vegetables and shit. It pisses me off. Like we'll be hammered. Like
you see my face? Like
just no.
That's not real.
It is. It's like an insane thing where we'll be like fucking hammered. I mean, this was pre-pandemic.
Man, I just really fucking want a zucchini right now. Like
exactly that kind of shit. Where she's like,
it's crazy.
I'll be like, I'm fucking starving. I want to get like the Chinese or something. She's like, no, we got eggplant at home. I'm like, what are we gonna fucking do with eggplant? Just eat it. Like she'll just stir it in a pot till it's hot and then eat it. And I'm like, okay.
We ordered Thai last night, and I ordered one fried item. And Melody was like, I already said something to you about fried items. And I was like, yeah. So I took one fried item off and just left one fried item. Like, that's pretty good to only have one.
Wait. So is Melody not a Southerner? No, she's not.
No. So Melody is first generation Persian.
Okay.
But her parents immigrated from Iran to Connecticut. So she grew up in Connecticut, but we met in Chicago doing comedy.
Which a lot of people would say Connecticut is the Iran of New England. A lot of people would say.
Yeah. There's a. I don't know. Do they?
I don't know. No. I think Connecticut is definitely the Mississippi of New England.
Yeah.
In the sense that people are either extremely poor or otherworldly rich.
Yeah. Otherworldly for sure.
Yeah,
some of those places.
But like, I think anyone when you date a Southerner, the first thing if you're not a Southerner and you date a Southerner, I think the first thing they notice is our eating habits.
Yeah.
And then
you're a child.
Right. And they try and like work in some like healthy eating plans. And then they'll do things like that where they're like, wait, you're eating I thought I said no mozzarella sticks. And you're like, no. You said no multiple orders of mozzarella. This is only one. I'm only having one order.
Yeah.
One order a day. I can't go lower than like, I crave fried food.
Me too. Like, oh, so bad. And I mean, this is really bad. And someone was like, what's Allie's favorite type of food? And Millie's just like, American. I'm like, I mean, yeah.
Wait, you know what's fucking hilarious? If you go to like, have you ever been to England?
Okay, so I went to England when I was like 12.
Okay.
With my learning disability school.
Okay, so it was a different kind of trip.
Yeah.
Was your learning disability school mingling with learning disabled kids in England?
We did meet up with another like group of students, but no, this was just like go and learn about Europe.
That would be okay. Oh, so it was like a field trip for the kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Because now you said 12. You were learning disabled.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm dyslexic, dyscalculic, which is the same thing except for with numbers and ADHD. So I got put into special ed room and went in 3rd grade.
Wait. Okay. So this is for the listeners. And I just want to make this clear, Ali. You'll figure this out real quick. When I say for my listeners, I also definitely mean for me specifically, because dyslexia is a disorder, a title. It gets thrown around a lot, right? Mm-hmm. And like I think the most common perception of dyslexia is words on the page literally appear backwards.
Yes.
Or is that in any way accurate or close at all to what it actually is?
That is, I mean, it's somewhat accurate, but really more of what it is it's a flipping of letters.
Okay, so take your name. So A-L-I. Like, would that appear? Could that appear?
A-I-L.
A-I-L? Really? Oh, okay.
I would write it that way and see it that way.
Wow. Okay.
And so even like with comprehension, when I read, I generally have to read like a paragraph twice.
Right.
Because there's even at 34.
Okay. So is that, obviously if it's with mental disorders, there rarely is ever, I'm obsessive compulsive. So you learn there rarely is ever a cure. There's more of just like a way to manage it, like just a way to live with it. So is that sort of like how it is with dyslexia, where you're like, you just learn reading techniques or something, or like you just understand, like, I'm gonna have to read some shit. It's gonna take me longer, y'all. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still get really nervous, like for like writers' rooms or things like that, because there's like always that like everyone's gonna think I'm stupid.
Yeah. Wow. You see right away that hit me where it's like, a big thing a lot of comedians want to get into is writers' rooms, which is already fucking insanely difficult because there's not a finite amount, but there's only a certain amount of rooms hiring, shows hiring every year, and only a certain amount of people are going to get those jobs. And man, like,
I just need people to judge me on like the context of what I'm giving you, the storyline I'm giving you. Just please don't notice that I probably misspelled a few words, even though I go back and I check but I'll still.
You know what though? I mean, I know that if I go to a restaurant and I order something and it's fucking delicious, and the chef comes out to talk to me, and that chef is covered in food, I'm going to be like, hell yeah, that makes me feel better, because that means they worked for this, and it's fucking opposed to a chef that just comes out all clean cut and like, it's like, oh, are you even on the line? Are you even near a fucking pan at all? Do you just order people around? Or did you order this from somewhere else? Huh?
Yeah.
And serve it as your own. Whereas like, so I feel like, the content you would create would be fucking funny no matter what. They would just have to understand that you would spell shit, Sith. People would be like, we're not writing Star Wars comedy right now. You're like, that means shit. That means shit, not Sith. I fucking know. So does that mean what? Good.
It reminded me of I tried to make my cousin a poster when I was like in lower school, and she loved the Duke Blue Devils because I'm from North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
And so I tried to make her a sign that said like just Duke all over it. And then I handed it to her that afternoon, and she was like, duck, 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 duck. What? And I was like, oh, that was my thing. Yeah, I just got you a page. I just wrote duck all over it a bunch of times.
Duck. Duck. It's the duck blue deal. The duck blue deals. Dealers. The duck blue
I don't even think I attempted to try to spell devil. I was like, come on.
Oh, I just love the idea that you possibly saw Star Wars Revenge of the Sith as Star Wars Revenge of the Shit. I was like, huh. That explains it. Well, okay, but what was dyscalculate? What was the other one you said?
Dyscalculia. So it's the exact.
Never even heard of
math.
that one. Yeah.
It's math. So it's dyslexia, but with numbers. And some people that have like learning disabilities, you might be dyslexic, you might be dyscalculic. But and there's it's often that there's both, but I'm both and ADHD. I say I'm a special ed triple threat.
I mean, yeah, you're like if there were an award ceremony, like you're basically you have the triple crown of man, because dyscalculia, that seems super fucking troublesome. If you're like, let's see, I've got $10 and I need to make 20 more, so I just need. No, let's do the math here. I have negative $1. I just got to give away $1 and then I'll have 20. Yeah. Like, wait, no, it's not how it works.
Oh, dial in a phone number. That's a difficult one.
Really? So, oh shit, because that's
or like when you like have to put your information for your bank account in, and then I have to go look at it like 10 times. So I'm like, I've flipped a number somewhere.
Was it when you were growing up with this as a kid? Daddy, who I've met, your father, who it sounds very fucking dirty when I say it, but when you say it,
sounds
he sounds very endearing and southern. But I'm like, y'all haven't met Daddy? That's Ali's father, Daddy. That sounds real fucking creepy. But he seemed like a very cool, chill guy.
He's very dyslexic.
Is he?
Yeah, was never like official. I mean, just because of the time he grew up in, officially diagnosed. But yeah, he's super dyslexic. So
there it is. That's he's proud of you because he knows what you're going through. You know?
Oh yeah.
But that's because I remember when I met. So Ali and I were doing a show. This was like a decade ago. Jesus Christ, think about that.
It was really, I think it was 2010.
Yeah, 2010 turning 2011.
Yeah.
We were doing shows at what was then called Nutt Street Comedy Club in Wilmington. Yeah, it was called Nutt Street.
Well, it was. It's dead crow now, but like I didn't even remember that till you just said it, that it was called Nutt Street.
It was called Nutt Street with 2 T's. And we were doing the New Year's Eve. We were doing shows there, and we hung out and we got wasted. Your dad was there. Yeah. And that's kind of like when you and I met. My
dad and siblings at New Year's Eve paid for a hotel in Wilmington so they could see me do a 5-minute guest spot on your show.
Wait, were you not? Oh no, Rojo was featuring Rojo Perez.
Yeah, I'd been like trying to get in there, and they were like, "Well, if you want to come at this time, you can come do some guest spots, and then we'll see." So,
yes,
and they didn't even tell you. I just show up, and you're like, "Yeah, that's fine." Like, okay.
Yeah, I'm still very like open. I like. It's fun as a comedian when someone wants to do guest spots. It's also very interesting because some clubs have the policy of like, you go and ask the headliner, you personally.
Oh, yeah.
And then some clubs don't. Some clubs will just like have the manager or someone text you or ask you, and it's cool. But the ones that make the comedian ask, sometimes I appreciate it and sometimes it's fucking weird. Like I remember in Go Bananas in Cincinnati. That's one of my favorite clubs. They're like, yeah, ask the headliner, but that one's always it's very casual, and they'll just come and like most
just show up, and there's just a line of like 22-year-olds waiting to speak to you.
I have definitely been in a situation where I've gotten there, and I could tell the person asked me got to me before 5 other kids did, which is flattering, which is like, okay, that's flattering. But then in the comedy club in Grand Rapids, do you know that club? What's it called? Dr. Grins.
Yeah.
I remember I was backstage and some dude came backstage and was like, hey, introduced himself and just kind of like told me he was going to do a guest spot, but in a very like respectful way. It wasn't like, I'm doing a fucking guest spot, by the way. It was just like, oh, hey, I'm so-and-so. I was going to do a guest spot on The Late Show, if that's cool. And I remember being like, yeah, whatever. And then I heard the manager of the club catch him outside the door. I heard him be like, did you just ask? And the guy's like, yeah. It's like, that didn't sound like an ask to me. Why don't you go back in there and ask like a fucking man, okay? And the dude had to come back in and be like, excuse me, man. I'm sorry, but like, is it okay if I do a guest spot on the show? And everything inside of me wanted to be like, did you just ask me like a man? Why? Because you didn't think my aunt, like I wanted to fuck with the same thing. Why? Because my first answer wasn't good enough for you? Then leave. But I could tell he had already kind of been humiliated by the managers. I was like, yeah, man, it's fine. It's totally fine. And then, of course, he went up there and had a weird set. But that's okay. I blame that more on the manager getting in his head. But, anyway, point being, that was when we met. And that's when
but I have to say my best one now that you said your best
one.
Oh,
please, yes.
About somebody asking to open. So I'm headlining University of Illinois. And apparently after the shows, they normally do an open mic.
Oh, fun.
Also, it's
where in Champaign, right? That
in Champaign, Illinois, yeah.
All right, there you go.
So there's 2 improv groups are my openers. Always fun. And
wait, 2 improv groups?
Yes, 2 improv groups.
That's come on, that's too much.
I mean,
improv.
But honestly, Sean, I hadn't watched it in so long. I sat there and it was just gloriously bad. I just sat there by myself, ate my free pizza, and just laughed my ass off.
I mean, that's yes. But did anyone else? Was everyone else just sort of like, oh, here we go again? Another suggestion. I hope these guys wrote their sketches. That's too much improv. Okay, back-to-back improv.
Okay, yeah. So then I'm waiting to go up, and I know that like when I'm done, there's gonna be this open mic, and all of a sudden these like doors fly open, and in walks this very young Indian kid in a full suit.
Okay.
He comes over, he puts out his hand and was like, "Are you Ali Clayton?" And I was like, "That's me." And he shakes my hand. He was like, "Wonderful to meet you. Normally there is an open mic after your show. That will not be happening. Everyone canceled but me. So I was thinking it might be best if I just do a 5-minute guest spot before you start." He was like, because it might be awkward for you to do a whole hour and then I just go on stage for 5 minutes. And I was like, yeah, sure, man. Yeah. You can open for me. And he was actually like,
okay.
I could see it like really going somewhere, but I was just like, the balls of this kid. I love it.
In a suit.
And like with his hand out, just ready to give me that firm comedy handshake.
And everyone knows that was Nimesh Patel, writer on The Daily. Or no, what does he write for? Saturday Night Live? He wrote for something.
Yeah.
Nimesh, very, very funny comedian. No. That is ballsy. That is.
Yeah.
That is definitely.
I was like, I don't care if you go fart in the microphone for 5 minutes. Like, you got balls, kid. Go ahead.
In fact, please go fart in the microphone for 5 minutes.
Honestly, if you farted in the microphone for 5 minutes, that would be the highlight.
Like, these people just sat through back-to-back improv groups. Like, they could use 5 minutes of farting in a fucking microphone just to, like, as a palate cleanser. Like, that's... Yeah. Because that's the thing about improv. Like, I respect it when it's done. Like, improv's not meant to fucking go up and open in 15-minute chunks. It's not like it needs to be its own thing in its own theater for its own crowd. Not like the fucking, this is a bunch of college kids who mostly are here for the extra credit. or because they've got nothing else to do because it's their freshman year. Oh, let's hit them with this made-up art form on the spot. I mean, and then a comedian who has to contractually stay up here for what, an hour? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fucking funny thing about colleges where they're like, so we need you to do an hour. And you're like, okay, cool. Is someone bringing me on? They're like, what is that? Like bring you on, like you want me to walk on stage with you? You're like, oh God, there's no.
Oh God, yeah.
All right, I get it. I'll just deal with this. Wow, that is fucking. Well, yeah, you're right. I wonder if that guy's famous now, or at least still doing.
This was like 2 years ago. I don't know if he's graduated yet.
Oh yeah, he might still be just hanging out waiting for. He might have. You might have.
He might have started his own virtual open mic by now.
Yes. Whoa, frontiersman.
That'd be awesome.
I did one time. I don't care. I'll say the comedian because it was a while ago. You know Christopher Titus is?
Yeah.
I was opening for him at Caroline's years ago, and this kid came backstage and was like, "Hey man, my dad used to be a comedian. He used to work with you on your show, on the Titus show." And he said dad's name, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, man, I totally remember your dad. Oh, great guy." Blah blah blah, back and forth. And then the kid was like, "So hey, by the way, I was wondering, could I do a guest spot?" And Titus, without even thinking about it, was like, "Nah, man, no." He's like, I get it. Like, me and your dad go back, but like, I kind of got the show scheduled to the T. Like, nah, I can't fit you in, man. Sorry. And it was just like the dude was crushed, but it was also like, all right, nah, I respect that. Just be like, no, I mean,
no.
You know, good play. You came in here with the nostalgia thing, me and your pops, but nah. But yeah, that's okay. Point being, this whole rant goes back to when we met and hung out with Daddy, and he was super fucking cool and bought a lot of drinks, and we got crazy wasted. And knowing now that the two of you were dyslexic makes a lot of sense, because we kept drinking. Because we would drink beer and then do a shot, and then have to get another beer and then do a shot. So like the whole night, I remember we ate a bunch of shitty food first, then drank
for sure.
The whole night was just backwards. We didn't do any drugs until right before we all went back to the hotel. I don't remember doing any drugs with your dad. That would be crazy.
I don't think we did any drugs.
No.
I'm sure he took like his nighttime pills, as he says. I'm like, okay, cool, trazodone. Like
right. Gotta knock myself out. Well, I mean, that's so growing up though because ADHD that's one I feel like people made fun of for years, but now we're all realizing
everybody wants to have it.
everybody wants to have it. Hey, that's definitely true. Because that's the same thing with OCD. Yeah. Everyone loves to throw out. I talk about this all the time, but when people are like, God, I'm so OCD about my shoes matching my fucking belt or whatever. I'm like, that's not what it is.
Yeah. No.
Unless your shoes have to match your belt to prevent a fucking attack of an alien attack, then yes, I get that. But the thing with ADHD is I feel like everyone made fun of it forever, but it's like we're all learning like, oh no, like half the population actually has it, and it's undiagnosed, and it's fucking people's lives up.
I had to get my hearing tested probably 10 times during school because the teachers were telling my mom that I don't listen and stuff, or it's like they would call my name, but it's just like I'm just distracted off in my own land doing something. And so they kept making me go in to get my hearing test, and they're like, oh no, she hears great. She just she's distracted. Yeah.
So do you take any medication for ADHD?
I did for a long, from my parents didn't put me on medication as a small child, but starting when I was 16, I started ADHD meds. And
like Ritalin, is that one of them?
Yeah, Ritalin, Adderall. Basically is cocaine.
Adderall, yeah. Adderall is legal yayo.
So really, I've taken Adderall from the time I was 16 until a year and a half, 2 years. Well, no, when I got sober. I'm sober and I quit smoking.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Congratulations. Wait, how long?
This is a non-alcoholic beer in a Six Flags cup.
That's what I was like, man, I'm not going to, I hope that was just soda with no ice in it. But
No, it's non-alcoholic beer. I still love beer.
What's your non-alcoholic beer brand?
Atlantic Brewing Company.
Okay, so it's like a legit, like you still go high, like
yeah, it's like
higher,
like IPA. I'm like, listen, I want to have it together, but I still want a beer belly. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I still want to have huge burps and yeasty farts.
Yeah.
Because that's part of who I am. I feel you. Wait, how long? Because you quit smoking a while ago, though. Am I wrong about that?
I quit smoking. Okay. So, this is really dark. You can edit it out if you want.
No, go dark. We don't edit.
All right. I tried to kill myself in April of 2018.
I did not know that. I'm very glad you did not.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And then that was kind of like the final got to get sober.
Now, did you try it? Did you try it by smoking a shit ton of cigarettes in one sitting? I
smoked 3 cartons of Marlboro Reds. No. No. I took a ton of pills and then had to go to the hospital for a few days. But it's like something that I wouldn't have done. Like as a person that has like major depression, anxiety, like I wouldn't have done that had I been sober. But it's like sometimes when I would drink, it would get really dark.
Yeah, sure.
And sometimes, as you know, I was the life of the fucking party.
I do. Yes, you were.
But yeah, it was just.
Yeah. Well,
it's not a good idea for me.
No, of course. And like I guess people don't like for a lot of people who are the life of the party, it's coming from a place of distraction as well to keep your I know in those moments for me, it was always keep everybody partying, keep at it so that you don't have to go back home and face yourself. You don't have to go home alone. Yeah. I'm really glad you're still with us, Ali. I'm glad you didn't do it. I'm glad it didn't happen. I'm sad you had to go through what you had to go through to get there, but I'm glad you got through it and are still here.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's the thing too. It's with that sort of thing. There's such a stigma of like you're bold enough to admit like, hey, I tried to do this. I tried to end my own life, and so many people will then forever
got really close.
Yeah, but now people will forever walk on eggshells around you. I bet in some circumstances, and you're like, am I right?
No, they're.
Yeah.
Like, or when my brother gets upset, he'd be like, because my mom's been in and out of like mental institutions since I was a kid. And like, she's tried to kill herself a few times. My grandpa killed himself. Like, it's just mental illness.
Yeah. It's bad. It's
either, you can fight it or you can choose not to.
Right.
But yeah, but I'm not my brother is extremely OCD.
Right.
You know him, the monkey doctor one.
I do.
Yeah. So super OCD. But like, I've been struggling a little this year, and I'm like, some people have situational depression. Like, you just moved to Nebraska to be a head of this primatology program,
right? And
now you're in the middle of a pandemic. You don't know anybody. Yeah, you're probably depressed. He's like, but I'm not like you and Mom, Emma. I'm not like you and Mom.
Like, well, I feel like depression's just. It's almost like depression's like a liquid. Like it's not different. You could just have different levels of it.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. Some people just have a little sip. Like I feel like I have a shot. I have a shot of depression every now and again, and it sucks, and you have to fight through it. But I feel like some people have a goddamn pitcher that they chug. Yeah. They chug a pitcher of depression, and it's for some people it's too much. And like, but you shouldn't. I guess I don't know. This is just how I feel. You shouldn't be afraid of it. I think it's better to accept that it's there. It's always going to be a part of the human.
Yeah, I think
human condition.
For like one of my biggest fears, like for so long, has been like I'm going to be my mom or I'm going to be my grandpa, and like my mom's still very mentally ill, and like she just doesn't leave the house, and or like be like my grandpa and be dead. But I'm just like, I kind of felt like it was a destiny, almost. Right, okay. To that, like I just like, well, these are the cards I was dealt. Maybe I don't have a choice. But then I'm like, kind of realized like in the past 2 years, like, no, I do have a choice, and there are a lot of things I can do to
Right.
help
I mean,
myself. And I think comedy kept me,
sure.
Really.
Yeah, because you're raw as fuck on stage. You're real, like you're not up there like, you don't pedal in like I know I like to use the chef reference a lot, but like like you're not up there making like dog shit. You're not up there making dessert only. You're serving like hearty meals, like delicious, fulfilling meals of comedy. And nothing against pastry chefs.
See, and I would say that you're serving like a 5-course meal, but everyone's allowed to wear a cutoff shirt.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that good?
Yeah. In fact, I would like to think I serve a 5-course meal, but I demand that you wear a cutoff shirt. You can wear it underneath a blazer if you'd like.
Yeah.
But there has to be a cutoff shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but that's very interesting because I also, like, your mother and your grandfather probably didn't come from times where they were encouraged to talk about this shit at all.
No.
So it festered. And I feel like, it's discussing it. I know it's not the end all be all cure all, but it certainly makes it possible for there to be one, for there to be a path away from it. And I like how you said, like, the cards you were dealt, that's one thing, but it's sort of like okay, this is a hand, but it's not the best hand, but hey, now I just got to play the game. Now I just got to play the rest of the players or whatever and fucking win, bluff if you gotta. If it wins,
I still smoke weed. I'm what they call now, Cali sober.
Yeah, dude.
That's what they're calling Cali sober.
Cali sober.
Which weed I don't have suicidal thoughts when I smoke weed.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
And one of the many reasons why it should just be legal, and in some cases mandatory, like prescribed. Well, no, that's great because I'm unfortunate. I am so
panic.
I'm so fucking full on panic mode when I smoke weed. It sucks. And I'll still do it every now and again because if I'm in the right situation and if I'm in the right headspace, it'll be great. And I have the right amount.
I smoked weed with you before where it's like, we're all having a blast. And then you're just like, all right, I'm going to go, guys.
Yeah. I've got it.
Where's Sean go? Oh, he took a puff of weed. He went,
guys, I've got to protect you from this, from what I may become. Yeah. So I'm glad. Okay, but this is the thing. Like, I like knowing that you smoke weed and it makes you feel better because that's like my dad. My dad, he's retired now, but like he just started taking edibles. He got hit by a fucking FedEx truck a year and a half ago, right? Like backed into, had to go to the hospital. It was bad. Broke both his elbows. It was crazy.
fuck.
But like morphine wasn't helping him. Like it would numb the pain in the moment, but then like the side effects and the after effects of morphine, he's a 66-year-old man. He was like, this fucking sucks. Now he just takes edibles and feels zero pain and zero side effects and loves it. And he's just kind of edible high all the time. And which is what, like, he's 66. So he's earned the right to walk around like, I'm kind of fucking lit up.
I mean, some comics can like be high and like go on and like kill it. I don't get high before I perform.
There are some comedians who I don't think I've ever seen not high. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I honestly don't think Ari Shaffir is ever sober, like not stoned in some way. I'm dead serious. Like, I've been around him once or twice where I'm like, wait, are you not high right now? And you can tell because he's almost like a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, so what's different about you? Oh, you don't have your 17 milligrams of marijuana, hourly marijuana in your body. But wait, so you're in Chicago. No, you're in New York.
No, I'm in New York.
You're in New York. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
You've been here for how long now?
Since summer of 2016.
Man, so as someone who likes weed, isn't it still kind of fucking annoying that every state around New York be legalizing it and New York fucking city is still like, well, not yet, guys.
Yeah.
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 Come on.
Irritating.
That's fucking.
I found out I'm Cali sober because like I really want like some kind of like sober like support group. I would love to go to that, but like I can't go to AA because if you do that, then I couldn't be smoking weed and go to AA. You have to be nothing.
Oh yeah. Wait. Whoa. Oh really?
Yeah.
Because I thought it was just Alcoholics Anonymous, but they're basically like, nah, everything else
Nothing.
too.
Nothing.
Okay, that's.
So I was trying to find like other support groups, and I found this group online, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna do a cocktail hour," and I was like, "Well, 2:00, that's kind of an odd time for like they're doing like a non-alcoholic," and I was like, "All right, well, I'll just log on and say hey," and I did, and it was 7:00. Everyone was in England. I was the only American.
Okay.
And I'm like, "Is it okay that I smoke some pot?" And they're like, "You're Cali sober."
Cali sober. I know quite a few Cali sober comedians.
Yeah.
Like Dan Soder. He's Sally Clayton. I don't know. You know, he's but he's been sober for a minute. Actually, this is a question I have for you. Do you find? I mean, obviously not this year.
Yeah.
But is being sober in New York difficult? Because you know what I mean? Like New York's bars late and shows are in bars.
I think being sober as a comedian has been a challenge for me.
Yeah.
Because it's not as fun anymore. It's like, yeah, you want to like hang out with everybody, and I mean, you want to network. You want people to know who you are. And I feel like a lot of ways to do that sometimes is like to go hang out. But you know what?
Yeah.
You're fucking irritating. Like, like people that are wasted, I'm like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fucking funny because you're right. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it's like to be sober for a long time like you, but like a couple years in 2018, I did 90 days.
Yeah.
Just to do it. And I remember like midway through, I was just like, I may never touch alcohol again because I don't want to be like any of these fucking pricks again. Like, this is ridiculous.
Like one of my main jokes when I drank, and I thought it was so funny, and now I'm like, oh my God, you were like sexually harassing people. But my favorite joke was to be at like a really crowded party, just take out one tit. Just take out one tit and then just walk around the party like everything's normal. As though I have no idea my tit's out. And
that you did that for real?
A lot. Like many times. Until eventually I would be speaking to somebody and somebody would be like, Ali, do you know your tits out? And I'd be like, oh my God. I'm so sorry.
I mean, you know what's funny is I knew dudes in my my 20s. I knew two guys specifically who would do that with their balls. Right?
And I'm like, for some people, that's like harassment. I think it's hilarious.
So there's something. A tit out is less fucking threatening than balls.
Yes, a tit out is less threatening.
Something about balls is just like, you're reminding me where your children are gonna come from. I don't know, it's weird. But then the tit out is like, nourishment, milk.
Ace Ventura talking. I ran into a guy that I did not remember at all not too long ago. And he was like, oh my God, last time I saw you, we were in Chicago, and you pulled your pants down and ordered a beer Ace Ventura style with your ass cheeks. And I was like, oh.
But just so the world knows, like, I met my now, girlfriend / partner, whatever you prefer me to say. I've met her. We're together now.
We were on a bencher, I think.
We were her and I are together almost 7 years now. We met because you and I were getting fucking silly ding dong shit faced.
Yeah.
Like, because I came to Chicago a day early to do shows at the Comedy Bar, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
And I was like, oh fuck, I booked my flight a day early. Oh, whatever, I'm just going to go. And I remember hitting you up and being like, could I stay on your couch? And you were like, you absolutely can. And then we went and did the show at Bar DeVille.
Yes, such a fun show.
It was called, what the fuck was that show called?
Parlor Car.
Parlor Car.
They still have it. They don't have it at that bar, but they still do it in Chicago.
And we were at the bar, slamming drinks. Slamming them. I was talking to you, and Caitlin spilt a beer on my back by accident because she knocked over a beer and it went all over my back, and I turned around. There she was, and we just started talking. And had I been not drinking that night, I would never have met her.
But
You know what I
you
mean?
were so just like you were like just in love like that. Like
Yeah, pretty much.
you
It
were
was,
just like the rest of the night it's all you talked about, and then you got her number, and
yeah.
then the next night we I had just been dumped, so I'm all down and out, and you're
Yeah.
like, we're gonna cheer you up. So you're like, I want to go meet this girl, so come with me to do this. So we go to meet Caitlin, and we're at this bar, and you just keep bringing me shot after shot, and you keep bringing random people to the table. You brought like a tall black guy. Like this is a point in time when I still thought I was bi. You brought
Oh
you,
yeah. I was
yeah,
fishing for you. I was like,
yeah.
I'm gonna
You were like,
find you some ass.
what do you want? You want femme? You want dude? You want black? You want?
Oh
And
yeah.
just all these people. And just like I was just at the bar again, and I met this, and I'm like,
I remember. No, I
and that's
remember
how I met Flynn, and that's how
Flynn.
I started dating Flynn.
Flynn, who at the time, uh, I don't believe I'm dead naming here because he goes by that has not changed his name, but yeah, was a woman then,
Yes.
uh, and is now has now transitioned to
To
a.
I think more non-binary, they them.
Have you met or talked to
Flynn, I
yeah.
have talked to Flynn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did too, and I tell you what, I was extremely, I mean, happy for them,
Yeah.
but be like real goddamn impressed with the work. It was
Yeah.
like you would never, unless like I do, know you from a previous existence, like would never even assume that this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like you're a male,
Yeah.
right. You've always been. It was like very, it's like hi. I almost feel like I'm meeting a new person, or this is the person you've always been. It's very interesting. But at the time, Flynn was a very like fucking Minister
Like,
Farrakhan looking lesbian.
yeah.
You know, like bow tie, suit,
Yes. And
short haircut.
they had a bow tie on when you brought them over to introduce me, and I was like, hello.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The night before, or when I had met Caitlin, Flynn was hanging all over her. I assumed Caitlin was gay. That's why it was so easy for me to just talk to her, because I was like, well, she's a lesbian. There's nothing I can do here but just hang. And then they left, and like 15 minutes later, hit me up on Facebook being like, hey, sorry, my roommate's hammered. I had to get her home. And I was like, oh, roommate. And then, but I remember Flynn.
And then you didn't stay at my place the rest of the time because you got a hotel for you and Caitlin.
I did. I got a hotel. I did. Well, I think did I get the hotel? The club maybe did. But either way.
I don't know.
I do remember when Flynn, when I introduced her to you.
Yeah.
And then you went to the bathroom. She was like, God damn, I can't fucking take it. Southern chicks are so fucking hot. And I'm like, I've never heard lesbians talk like this.
No.
Yeah. She was really into you.
Ali. We were very into each other. We were.
Yeah.
But it turned out that they were in an open relationship with someone in Europe. They did not tell me this. We were together for 3 months. And Sean, I thought that Flynn was calling me over to be like, let's make this official. And that would have been like, even though I'd had sex with him and I dated, would have been my first time having like a real girlfriend.
Right.
Or a real partner. And I was so excited. And then Flynn's like, I just need to tell you something. I'm like, it's going to happen. And I have a girlfriend.
Damn.
She lives in England.
Yeah.
I'm in an open relationship and I still want to keep seeing you. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know, 5 years older than Flynn or something. And so I was like, oh, I'm just like too Southern and older. I'm just not hip. Okay, I just got to get hip with it. It's what people do. So I was like, yeah, no problem. I go down to an open mic, come back wasted.
Yeah.
And then I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. You could take the girl out the South. You can't take the South out the girl.
Yeah.
You know? Or it's like, it's like I know what you mean. There's like a certain,
but they apologized to me this year. Yeah. They reached out and apologized. And I was like, so nice.
Oh, that's very nice of them to do that. But like, also it's like at a certain point, you're like, yeah, I think the idea of open relationships work for some people, and then for some people, I don't even think it's a Southern thing. I think it might just be like I get it because I don't think I could do it.
Yeah. I couldn't do it.
It's just like I don't, you know what I mean? Like, why do you seem happier? And you've been hanging out with your other friend.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you get upset at all in the next 3 days when you're just hanging out with me, that means now I'm comparing myself to this other person that I don't really know, but I know about. That just makes it worse. And now I'm inventing all kinds of storylines. And yeah, I'm too much of a head case for that. There's a level of security to be in. That's why I don't believe when any comedians like, no, I'm in an open relationship. I'm like, you're a comedian. You don't have to fucking, you're not that secure mentally to fucking be in an open relationship. No. But I can't wait to hear all the material about it.
Yeah.
Wait. So you quit drinking 2.5 years ago then?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's awesome. Congrats. How does it, like, ultimately, how does it feel? Do you feel a change?
Yes. And, it's so different to have like gone so long with always at least having 1 or 2 beers before I perform.
Right.
Because I'm just naturally like a very anxious person.
Sure.
So it's like being like having to figure out like, how do I take that, like all that nervous energy, and instead of like medicate it, use it to be a better performer.
Right. And now you just gotta dig deep and be like, nah, I am the only thing that can medicate me from freaking out and on stage. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's fucking huge. I mean, especially, I'm sure in that first year, you learn a lot about yourself that you didn't. It was
tough. It was really tough. And Melody quit with me for a year. So she does still partake now, but I mean, nothing like what we were doing. But like we met in Chicago. Like there's a certain type of drinking that happens in Chicago.
People in Chicago drink like they can see the ghost of Al Capone.
Yeah, like
it's fucking it's intense. I'm saying this as a New Orleanian. It's like it's fucking intense.
It's really intense. It's really intense.
Dude, I can sit here and pick your brain like a finely tuned instrument for hours because there's so much going on. I just got to have you back at some point. But right now we got to get.
We did the story.
We got to get to the story. So,
all right,
Ali Clayton.
Johnny, I got to use the bathroom real quick.
Do it. I'll go do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna pause. Yes. All right. So, Ali, will you give me your 5 words?
Yes.
Go for it.
Splenda.
Okay.
91.
Ooh.
Red Roof Inn.
I know it.
NASCAR.
Ooh, heard of it.
Pocket Pussy.
Didn't think those actually existed. Kidding. All right. So your 5 words are Splenda, 91, Red Roof Inn, NASCAR, Pocket Pussy.
Correct.
Hell yeah. So this is a story. I think you are referencing in this. The Splenda, everyone knows, is the artificial sweetener that actually causes, I think, 16 different types of cancer they've learned. But back in 1991, there was the Splenda craze. I mean, it was stores were running out of it left and right. Restaurants were running out of it. Yeah. People loved their fucking Splenda. They needed it because it was a sugar substitute, and it wasn't sugar. Oh my God, it's so good that there was some black market action that people were actually buying Splenda off the black market back in 91. And you, Ali Clayton, back then were young. You were a fucking baby, but you remember your uncle Stephen.
Yep.
Right? He was, an unshaded. Look, Southerners, sometimes we do what we got to do. The economy was never that good, especially in North Carolina, especially in 91. So your Uncle Stephen was selling Splenda on the side, right? But he would still is. Good time, and that's brave of you to admit. So he would bring you, baby Allie, with him as like a cover, right? You had all the backpack all the Splenda in your backpack, and it would always be at a Red Roof Inn. Because everybody knew Red Roof Inn is for prostitution or some sort of illegal substance buying. And back then, Splenda. So you're selling all these fucking Splendas in the Red Roof Inn. And one guy shows up to buy a whole fucking Ziploc bag full, and he's like, "Hey, I ain't got no money, but I got some NASCAR tickets." And your Uncle Steven right away was like, "Holy shit! I could sell tons of Splenda at a NASCAR, at a fucking NASCAR event. Hell yeah, I'll take them. And we're going." So you load up the backpack full of little packets of Splendor. You go to this, I guess.
Splendor.
Splendor, yes. Yeah, no, I sound like I'm a Kennedy. Splendor. But you take all this Splenda to a NASCAR event, which in North Carolina, I believe is, I don't even know, Chattanooga. It's the Chattanooga NASCAR 600. You go there, and your uncle's trying to sell NASCAR or Splenda to NASCAR fans. And they're like, "Splenda, get the fuck away from me with that bullshit. I take real sugar like an American." So they beat the shit out of your uncle right in front of your face. You don't care because you're having fun watching the fucking NASCAR. You know, it's fun to watch when you're there. People shit on it from afar, but when you're in the stands, it's pretty fucking cool. You get home, and right away, your daddy, it's like, "Steven, what happened to your face? You look like a pocket pussy." Right? So y'all just called him Uncle Pocket Pussy from then on out, right?
Yep.
So that's what I think the story is.
Well, I guess the podcast's over then.
Nailed it, finally!
Old Uncle Pocket Pussy.
Old Uncle Pocket Pussy. Wait, what's the real story? This is fucking interesting.
So as I thought about which story I was gonna do, there's some great ones I do on stage right there, but I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
This one's for Sean.
Okay, thank you.
So my parents separated for their second time and like their final time when I was like 21.
Wait,
and
so they stayed separated, got back together, and then separated again?
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
And my dad like immediately starts dating like all these women, like some of them much, much younger women. And one time I'm like, I think I'm coming back from Chicago. I think it was around like 2010, like around the time I met you. And Daddy pulls up. He's gotten a brand new Ford F-150 truck. So I'm having to like throw my suitcase and like the tailgate and then like literally climb into this ginormous truck. I climb up into the truck and I turn around. I smell like cigarettes, and like my dad does not smoke. Like he doesn't smoke at all, but doesn't allow smoking in his vehicles. And I turn around, and there's this woman, and she is like as thin as a toothpick, just like titties so fake. I'm like, this bitch is gonna topple over, and like bleach blonde hair, and she's holding 2 warm Bud Lights. She has a cigarette coming out of her mouth.
Yes.
And there's just like liquid on her shirt, and she just looks at me and goes, "I spilled a little." And like that.
Sorry.
When Daddy goes, "This is Linda," and I was like, "Hey, good to meet you." And to where I go back to my dad's house and realize, oh, this woman lives with him. He proceeds to tell me he recently went to Charlotte, North Carolina, to go to a NASCAR race where he met Linda.
Yeah.
And I mean, and Linda is just, she's fucking nuts. She's completely crazy. Like her favorite thing to do is she likes all her Bud Light. She sits it out. She wants it to be warm. Linda said something about she lived in Europe for a little while when she was a child, and they like their beer warm there. And I'm just like, why were you drinking so much warm beer as a child in England?
Yeah. This explains a lot about you, Linda.
It explains a lot, Linda. But Linda just liked to she had a boombox. Linda just liked to just jam out to Lady Gaga on her boombox and drink hot Bud Light in the bathroom.
This sounds like a Kate McKinnon character.
This is a real woman. Yeah. This is a real woman who my dad was like, my children would love to meet you.
Yeah.
And so she's significantly younger than my oldest brother, by the way.
And you said you were 21 at the time?
Yeah, I was like 22
okay.
maybe.
This is interesting. There's a part of me that was like, bringing a woman like this around a 12-year-old, I don't know, but a 21, 22-year-old, kind of fun.
Yeah.
Kind of fun. Yeah.
Oh, it was pretty funny. So it's never like me and my siblings and like we're all at home at once. Like my sister lives an hour away, and then my brothers.
Where in North Carolina was this?
So this was in Bahama, North Carolina. So way out in the country, which is where I grew up.
Okay.
Yeah, right. it's Durham County, but like where I grew up, there was just like one stoplight, a mini mart, a post office, and
That is something I find so fucking interesting about North Carolina is like it doesn't have one major city, but it's got a handful of bigger cities. I mean, Charlotte's it's a big city, but you know, Asheville, Wilmington, Raleigh, Durham, those are all pretty big cities. But then there's also like, you want country? Oh, they got country.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go out in the woods? We got woods. Yeah. So that's where you
that's
grew up.
like where I grew up. Everybody's like, why do you talk like that? And I'm like, you're from Durham? And I'm like, I'm from Bahama. Well, I'm actually from Rougemont, but this house was in Bahama.
Okay.
So Daddy and Linda. So we start hanging out with Linda, and we very quickly realize, like, number one, she's generally so drunk you can't understand what she's saying, and like she slurs and like says like just crazy things out of nowhere. Like my uncle was over, and he had like the best mustache, and she looked at him and just goes, I see you got that mustache there. 1, 2, 3, talk to me in Spanish. Like, this is just the drunkest woman.
Wow.
And you never knew what was going to come out of her mouth.
Ali, I can say something. You and I have gotten pretty drunk. and you said you've experienced some dark times drinking.
Yeah.
But at least you never tried to put a language spell on someone. Because that's what it sounds like she's trying to do. It's like, I'll decide that you're going to speak Spanish to me. Which I kind of wish was possible. Because I would be like, hey, Linda, I would love to be able to speak Portuguese. If you could help me out with that. You could just 1, 2, 3 Portuguese me.
And then Linda goes, oh, this was like, so my Uncle Danny's the one spending the night. And he's like my uncle, like the most redneck uncle. He used to take my brother alligator fishing, alligator hunting, which was just like not legal. He'd be like, let's get us some baby chickens and get out there. It's like just so redneck. He actually took our pig that we had when we were kids, and he told us it died, but he killed it and barbecued it, and we had a party.
And you were probably like eating it as he told you it was dead. Like, can I have some more sloppy Joe? But by the way, what happened to Bart?
Where is Midge?
Midge.
What was her name? Midge. Where is Midge? But so even for like my Uncle Danny to be creeped out by Linda, like you have to know that like she was completely insane. Because we left him, she went and got in bed with my dad, and we left my Uncle Danny downstairs on the couch. And about 10 minutes later, he came up and said, when you motherfuckers invited me to spend the night, you didn't tell me she would be here. I didn't know I need to bring a bulletproof vest.
Jesus.
I'm sleeping with y'all. She's crazy. And so we love pranks. My whole family loves pranks.
Hell yeah.
And so my brother is like, you know what? Let's not call her Linda anymore. Let's call her Splenda, because she's artificially sweet.
That's fucking right there. Genius.
And so my brother the next day was like, Linda, baby, we got a new name for you. Splenda, because you're so sweet. And he was like, oh, I love it. And so everybody starts calling her Splenda.
Right.
And so whatever that day happens at night, like we all get wasted. And my sister has just gotten my dad for Father's Day a blow-up doll and a pocket pussy called the Coca Stroker. That's what it was called.
Oh, that's okay. Wait, the Coco Stroker? No, Coca.
Coca. I think it's like a cocoa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right.
The Coca Stroker.
The Coca Stroker. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we blow up. We're like, oh, let's fuck with Daddy and Splenda. They're asleep. So we blow up this blow-up doll. We stick a gourd in its ass, a little gourd, whatever, add a gourd. And so we stick a gourd in the blow-up doll's ass. We lay that in between them in bed. And then we take 2 slices of bread and make a pocket pussy sandwich, a Coca Stroka sandwich. And we put that right by Splenda's head. And she wakes up and loses her shit.
Yeah, she does.
She gets a knife and starts violently stabbing the blow-up doll. She's stabbing the blow-up doll. And then she throws it out into the yard. And just like, there's just a deflated blow-up doll with a gourd in its ass. And she just threw the whole plate with the pocket pussy sandwich
Just
out in the yard.
Okay.
Just everything in the yard.
Okay. Fucking legit, like an episode she had.
We are all upstairs just laughing so hard. But then that's when we realized, where did Splenda came out of the bedroom with a knife? Why does Splenda have a knife in the bedroom? And then we looked the next day. She keeps a knife under the mattress on her side. So
oh, wow.
Yeah, very scary.
Yeah, that is very fucking scary.
So the next day, we go to my grandmother's 91st birthday party.
Oh, no.
In Virginia.
Okay.
We stopped 3 different times for Splenda to get more Bud Light.
Warm, remember.
Warm. She likes it warm. And by the time we get to my grandma's party, Splenda is falling over, and she's kissing my grandmother who's never met her, happy birthday, darling. And then it starts pouring down raining. Splenda, with her ginormous titties, is just wearing a wife beater, just a white tank top. And she's like, yo, it's raining, and just runs out and is just doing circles in the rain and her wife beater. And this is my grandma's 91st birthday. She walks back over like a wet dog and just the hardest nips.
Oh, yeah.
Just
hard nips.
Okay. And happy birthday, Nanny. And then we go home. And when we get home, Splenda realizes she doesn't have her wallet. And she is certain, for some reason, she does not like my sister, Kristen. So for some reason, she is certain Kristen stole her wallet.
Is Kristen the older or younger?
I'm the youngest. So it goes me,
the
monkey doctor, Bubs, his name's Bubs, Sissy, Kristen, and then Bruce is my oldest brother.
Okay, so she hates the oldest sister.
Sister, yeah.
Yeah.
So, because Kristen's also a drunk, and she will talk some shit back to you. But, so... Oh, my sister's husband is here too, Mike Spoon.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were still married at that time. So we're all upstairs hiding from Splenda because she's getting a little scary. She's very upset that her wallet's gone, and she swears that Kristen has done it. Well, we look down in the living room, and Splenda is shadowboxing in the dark.
As one does.
Yeah. She's just shadowboxing in the dark. Splenda just... Fuck you, Kristen. Get down here. I know you stole my wallet. Fuck you, Kristen. She knocks a lamp over. Lamp's broken. Fuck you, Kristen. Fuck you, Kristen. Kristen's crying. She's like, God, she's crazy. She really could hurt me. And so that's when we go and get Daddy. We're like, Daddy, your girlfriend's trying to beat your children up.
One at a time.
Could you maybe tell her to come into the room because we're scared to go in downstairs? And so Daddy gets up and he confides with me and my brother, and he's like, look, it's taken me a while to see this, kids, but I think Splenda might be fucking crazy. Yeah, he goes, last night she attacked that blow up doll with a knife. She has a knife on her side of the bed, and I think she might try to kill me. Jesus. And we're like, what the fuck?
Right.
And so he goes, but I can't force her out of the house without a 30-day eviction notice. My dad's a lawyer, as you know.
Yeah.
And he's like, so we got to find some way to get her out tonight. And then he looks at my sister and is like, Kristen, she really hates you. So you're going to have to take one for the team.
Oh, this is great.
Kristen? And my sister's like, what? And she's like, you're going to have to fight with Splenda and then let her punch you.
You got to do it.
And so then as soon as, and we're like, and Kristen's like, are y'all going to let her hurt me? And we're like, no, we'll get her off of you just as soon as Dad's like, yeah, so she can hit you, and then I'm gonna call the police and have her arrested.
Oh, genius.
And my dad is in his whitey tighties the whole time, never bothers to put on a shirt or anything.
No, he's playing the part. He's playing the part of the poor, broken male lover. He knows what he's doing. Daddy's got all the angles covered.
He really
here.
does. This next part is truly maybe one of the most insane things I've ever seen.
All right, fucking A.
Somehow, Splenda no longer has a shirt on. She just has on a bra and low-cut jeans. You know, the kind where, the top of your thong hangs out?
Yeah.
Yeah, those. my sister's just standing there, like terrified,
Splenda was
like a deer in headlights, and
Yeah.
my dad's in his underwear,
Okay.
and I'm just there, like as like a witness.
Right.
and so my dad's like, Kristen, just admit it. You took Linda's wallet. Starts an argument.
Okay.
And Splenda's like, yeah, bitch, you took my wallet. And my dad's like, what are you going to do about it, Linda? Are you going to hit Kristen? Are you going to hit her? Like trying to instigate it. And like Splenda can like barely stand up and is like wobbling. So my dad, out of nowhere, grabs the back of Splenda's head, grabs the back of my sister's head, and then full force just headbutts them together.
That is pretty fucking insane.
He headbutts them together. They both hit the ground. Dad starts screaming, Linda, you've hit my daughter. Linda, you've hit my daughter. Then he calls the police. The police come. I have to lie to, my father makes me lie to the police. My brother, who's a scaredy cat, the one with OCD, he's hiding upstairs in a bedroom with the door shut and refuses to come down.
That is.
When the cops finally make him, he's like, I didn't see anything. Like, because he won't run to the police.
Damn. He won't break the law, not even for his own family. That's why he's a monkey doctor.
Yep. Yeah. So my sister is like, she has this huge knot on her head. She's crying. And,
this is fucking.
And then the police show up. So we have to tell all this stuff. And then we're like, finally, okay, she's gonna get arrested, and they're going to be able to get her out of the house, and then we're going to be good. Well, Dad starts to feel bad, and he knows all the officers too. Right. And so, like the guy's on his way out the door with Splenda, and Dad's like, hang on, JD, or whatever his name was. Hang on, buddy, hang on. And he goes and gets his wallet. He gives the guy money and said, don't lock her up. Just go drop her off at a Red Roof Inn. So Splendid goes and spends the night at the Red Roof Inn. We're like, oh, finally she's gone. And then 2 days later, I come over. She's listening to Gaga, drinking a hot Bud Light, and I got so mad at I was like, I just hope by the next time I get here, there's a new woman.
Met her weak.
I know.
That's nuts. That's fucking. That is. Wait, did they stay together for much longer after that?
No, not too much longer. I mean, I think really like that she was. She also got in trouble because he moved to a different house out like where there was a lot of land, right. But she kept going on the porch at like 2 a.m. and just shooting the shotgun off.
Which is what is going to happen if you drink enough hot Bud Light. That's
still mad about that Coca Stroka sandwich.
Just still has nightmares about a fucking blow up doll. She's out there. She recovered from her knife wounds, but I'm gonna give her one she ain't gonna come back from. Like Linda, Splendid. Go drink another. Introduce her to Bud Light Platinum. All right, there you go. That's fucking. That is such a hilarious. Like I wonder what do you think Splenda's doing now? Right, like right now. Probably definitely not wearing a mask.
No, definitely no.
You just basically like told me a movie plot.
Let's write it, Sean.
Yeah, you think you already wrote it? I mean, I want to play JD. The good-natured cop who's just like, man, Daddy, what are we going? And everybody calls your dad Daddy, even though it's not his name. It's like, no, it's Daddy, Daddy Clayton, attorney at law. He's just like, Daddy, am I arresting this one or am I bringing her to a Red Roof?
So Dad also had to. Splenda was at a Christmas with us, and she had to be asked to leave. She shows up at Christmas in like the shortest dress. Yes. It's like little children, they're fishnets.
Oh.
And then like knee-high boots. It was a very sexy Christmas look.
Right.
But the thing is just like she's trying to wear these like high-heeled boots, but she can't walk normally. She's so drunk. So she really can't walk in these boots.
Right.
And she keeps going, I need to grab something out of the car. well, that's just so she can pound a couple more warm Bud Lights. Well, at one point, she's holding the baby, and she falls over. She falls off the couch holding the baby, and we're like, okay, she can't touch the baby anymore, and she's going to need to go.
Like seriously, yeah. Like no more babies for Linda.
Dad, we've tried.
Jesus. There's a test here with everybody knows this. You bring them around your grandparents. If they try and kiss one of your grandparents, that's a strike. 2.
Well, she kissed my grandparent, and she also like basically started a wet T-shirt contest at her 91st birthday.
There you go.
She was the only participant.
That's the second family test. Do they try and start a wet T-shirt contest at any given moment? And then 3rd, how are they with babies? If they drop the babies, you got to dump this person. Yeah. That's fucking hilarious, dude. This seriously this is an award-winning character. The Chronicles of Splenda. Because I've
tried to tell it on stage, but like seriously, people look so disturbed.
Now they're just not the right people to hear it. Because that's a lot of like, I don't think that's just Southern. Like I feel like there's something about growing up in the South where it's like people are just more willing to let their inner fucking dipshit out fully. Yeah, I feel like every region of the country, every country in the world has that version, you know what I mean, of that, just like certain, like, you know, people try and pretend like it isn't there, or like maybe the version of Linda from like, you know, Massachusetts is more educated, so they do more damage because they've got money, but like it's still, you know, they don't drink warm Bud Light, but they demand a fucking Godiva martini. I can only have Godiva martinis, and I speak like this, like I'm constantly holding in a shit. That's an accent that I think rich people in any situation always sort of have this tone of talk where it seems like they're trying not to shit themselves.
Oh,
British people for sure. Like hello, I didn't realize you'd be joining us for spotted dick, and it's like
dick.
That's what they eat. It's a delicious.
Is that a whale penis? What is it?
It's a pastry. or like a type.
Hold on, that's a pastry.
A spotted dick. Yes, it's like.
I thought this whole time that was a whale penis, and I don't know why.
I mean, it sounds like a whale penis.
Yeah, it does, right?
You might as well call it whale penis.
Yeah.
And just completely throw everyone. Oh, I don't want any of that. But it's like, actually, if I invented a food that was absolutely fucking insanely delicious, I would call it something like beaver cum. Just so like people don't want to try it, and there's more for us.
Yeah.
Like you don't want
more beaver for me.
Oh, that is the perfect. Wait, Ali. So where can people find you? I want everyone to be your biggest fan.
Oh, thanks. At A Country Clayton on Instagram and Twitter and all the stuff.
Do you have like an album coming out soon or anything? Do you have?
I should, right, Sean?
I mean, well, it's fucking. This past year has really swept the legs out of most of us.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to just be putting out albums. But like, do you have an album already?
I don't have an album. I just like before all this happened, I started touring more, and it was like my first year of comedy full time, and like finally like felt really good about my hour.
Yeah.
And it started to do that, and then COVID happened, and all got canceled, and now I'm babysitting.
Yeah, it sucks too, because you need to be out there more. But but you will.
Yeah, I will.
What do you? Is there anything you're working on now that you want to put out about?
I'm working on it. It's not out yet, but Ever Maynard. Awesome comic. We're working together on putting together a podcast called Y'all Gay, about just being Southern queers and interviewing people that are queer, but also just Southern in general and Southern experiences.
Well, be on the lookout for that. Y'all Gay. Because that's a fun name.
Right?
Yeah, indeed. And please follow Ali on every social, and when the
Oh,
world.
and there's a highlight. If you go to my Instagram, there's a highlight of something called Just Daddy Vids. And it's
Okay.
just different hilarious vids of my dad. So if you want like a good visual of the man you just heard me speak about, go to Daddy Vids.
Daddy Clayton is for real. All right. I'm so happy you did this, and I'm so happy you're I'm so happy you are feeling good and sober and living it up. And this year was such a 2020 fucked everything up, but you know what? You are someone who, when it starts rolling again, you will naturally fit in and naturally be back out there.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Ali is a legit. This is one thing I don't need to tell myself. This is actually for the listeners. Ali is legit as fuck. You need to see her live. But follow her on Instagram first.
Or see us both live together, because I think it's really fun when we call my dad on stage.
I would love to go back on the road with you. We got to figure that out.
Do you remember when I did that? When we did that, we called my dad on stage.
Kinda. Wait, at Nutt Street?
No, we did that at. We were in Chicago at Up.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and that show was like huge, like sold out. And you just spent like 5 minutes just like in the speaker talking to my dad.
Yeah, I mean,
he's comedy gold.
He's He's a cartoon turned to life.
I know.
You know, that came to life. It's like, it's amazing. Yeah, we need to get back out together on the shows, you and I.
Hey, I got my mama's minivan now, so
we'll do it. Hey, I'm in. We live in that fucking thing. All right. Thank you, Ali.
All right. Bye, buddy.